3, 2, 1. It's forbidden. Boom. What's up, George? What's going on in the House of Craze today?
Another live Kickstarter extravaganza. We have Ted Davies and his Kickstarter Grimm 101 Book 2 coming up next.
Yes. Life is looking kind of grim right now. Let's get it!
Only show for independents all around, giving you a platform to spread your word all over town. Catch the Craze is the place to promote to your fans with the dream of Medina and Sam the Crazy Man. Subscribe to our show and never miss an episode. It's time to get your mans, listen to us on the go. Updated every week, we've never missed a day. Join the squad, come on in. It's time to catch the Craze. If you are an independent, catch the Craze. Making moves on your own, catch the Craze. On your grind in the streets, catch the Craze. Join the movement, catch the Craze.
Yeah, George, we did it again. Come on now. You know you want to do it. Catch the Craze. Welcome to Catch the Craze Podcast. I am your host with the most, Sam the Crazy Man Vera, and I am with
George, the Dreamer, Medina. What's happening, Sam? And what's happening, everybody? We are back with another live episode. It's hour number 2. We are live again. We have another Kickstarter special, another guest. Mr. Ted Davies will be on the show with us in a few. Grimm 101. Book 2 is the Kickstarter campaign that he is currently running. He's got how many days? 4 days left. It ends November 14th. Yeah, November 14th at 7 p.m. He's got $2,222 of a $2,500 goal. So let's get him there, guys. Let's help him out. Yeah. Let's do this. But what's going on with you, Sam? What's happening at 8 o'clock p.m.?
What's happening? What's happening is we're trying to move forbidden. Forbidden, you know, we funded in 14 hours. We just hit a wall from that point on. And it's hard for me to understand it because there's a lot of great artists that worked on this campaign. Forget about the fact that I wrote it. I worked with a lot of talented people on this. And there's a lot of great incentives for this campaign. And it's a really good story. And so we're trying to move the needle. And George came up with the idea of spin the wheel. And
shit. My spin is back, baby. That's right. Yo, real quick. You know what I just realized?
What?
So Ted Davies has $2,222, $22.22.
Right.
Forbidden's got 22 backers in 22 days.
Crazy.
We also have $660. That's a double 6. He's got 41 backers in 4 days. That's a double 4. There's a lot of numbers here. There's a lot of numbers going on. A lot of doubles.
A lot of positive numbers too.
Yeah, very positive numbers. So what's up? Where is everybody?
Yes.
Where are the pledges?
And what's also
Let's
interesting,
get these pledges.
I got 49 people following it.
Yes.
But only 9 converted. So there's a potential for 40 other additional people. So if you're one of those, please pledge today, because there's not like a closeout sale at the end. There's no like going out of business sale. It is what it is. So and every day there's somebody new signing up, following it, and I'm like, well, that's awesome. Oof. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. But can you hit that button? You know, because I want to unlock. Baby. There's some great stretch goals. Yeah, there's some great incentives.
You know, yeah, that's right. Hit the button, like Meredith would say from Raging AVC. Hit the button, and if you aren't following them, go to Raging AVC and follow them on their YouTube channel. But so what are some of these stretch goals, Sam? What do we got? What are the plans?
Well,
let's entice these people. So what are some of these stretch goals?
Well, we got a backer goal, right? Okay. And I think the first backer goal is 50. I'm trying to get to 50 backers, right? That's what we had the first issue 0. Mm-hmm. So you know it's funny because issue 0, I think we had 50 backers for issue 0. So we're trying to repeat that. We're only at 22 backers right now. So I'm going to so at 50 backers, you can get that digital pinup of David Hunter and the Creepers right there.
Okay.
And at 75 backup, you'll get the digital pinup of the Tragedy Forbidden crossover piece that I did right there that's on the screen. And then at 100 backers, you'll get both physical prints. Both of them. That's the backer goal. That's not even the stretch goals. That's the backer goal. So, you know, and I'm really going after backers. Even if I had, you know, 40 of the backers were all digital, I'm fine with that. You know, so we're trying to push the, you know, I'm trying to just get the book into as many hands as possible. And then you got stretch goals like the Viejo sticker. Viejo's a badass mofo. You got the Viejo sticker, you know, at 1,000, and then the Sin sticker at 1,500. You know, and then you go into the Deseret card at the 2,000 amount. You go into these trading cards. You know, if we get to, you know, the ultimate, which is the 5,000, there's a limited hollow foiled black and white edition of the Creeper card. And speaking of that piece, you know, we also have original art for sale, available as a tier, and they come framed. And here is one of those. It comes framed just like this. Bang. Nicely packaged, nicely shipped to you guys. So if you're an art enthusiast and you love collecting original art, just some really great art pieces. All of them come framed.
Yo, you know, that Creeper card looks freaking dope. It's black and white and it's hollow foil. That's freaking pretty awesome.
Yeah.
What's the where did you come up with this Creeper? Like, who are the creepers in the story? Like, what are these creatures?
They are basically demons that are summoned by Nokron, and they think of the creepers like hyenas, hyenas mixed with piranhas. I mean, they're just vicious, and they just know how to just destroy and tear and kill. And so basically, they do Nokron's bidding, and they've been around since the dawn of time, and they're something from the pits of hell. And they come into the form of that, and they just go and mess things up.
The look for them. You created the look for them, like these big, massive, just.
Yes.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yes. In fact, you know, let me see if I can find it. The original, what's that? Let me get that. The original image of the creepers. I'll show you what that looks like. It's a little bright, but you'll see it right now. Boom, 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 boom. Character designs. Character design. There it is. Boom. Here we go. Creepers. This is the original design from back in the days. Right? You can't even see the damn thing. Look how small that is. So the blue, that's my old coloring garish days. That was back in 2000, but that was the original design of the Creeper. I wish I could find the black and white one. It's in my portfolio.
Yeah, it's little.
Yeah. So that was my original learning how to color in Photoshop days.
Nice.
Johnny Boy's back.
Johnny Boy, what up, player?
Into his house.
What's up? Some of the stuff you're gonna have on that well, just for those who don't know, I was gonna say Kickstarter, on Instagram, Forbidden's got its own Instagram page, and a lot of the stuff you could probably just dump it on there and have people check out some of the behind the scenes from back in the days.
Yeah, you're gonna see all of the early designs, my concept designs that I provided the artists with, and then you'll see if you've pledged to Forbidden. If you're gonna pledge, you'll see the final product of the campaigns for Forbidden. Let's see, what is this? So tonight, if we get 5 backers tonight at the digital level, $15 or more, you'll be entered into the raffle, and you'll get to spin that. George will spin that wheel with your name on it with a chance to win. Look at that. Look at this. Look at the wheel. Look at the wheel with a chance to win ARG. You know, it's basically a wealthy family, the perfect life until the day a child was born into the world. A child she refused to acknowledge for fear of how the public would react. Hidden from the world with a dark secret, lingering in the shadows. Only a few are aware of the impact this child will have on the world. The race begins to prevent the inevitable. This is a story of a child named ARG.
ARG. This is a prose short story that Sam wrote. And we are giving it away. We are giving the digital copy of it away. That's right. For those who pledge, we need at least 5 pledgers.
We need pledge. If we get 5 today, your name goes in tonight between now and 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. Central Time. If you pledge today, and by the time we ended, any pledges between today and tomorrow will be put into the raffle.
That's right. We're doing this again tomorrow, 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. We're going to have 2 drawings in case, we get some more pledges between today and tomorrow. We'll do it then. So yeah, make sure that you pledge. If you are one of the 40 backers that are waiting to convert and hit that button, hit it right now. Hit it today.
Hit that
Get
button.
Get it done.
Yeah, because the great thing is that more and more people are following it.
That's right.
The opportunity is converting them into. I want everybody to read the book. That's the reason why I set out to do this.
Ooh, we got one. We got a pledger.
You did?
Yes, we did.
How come I didn't get an alert? Oh,
I don't know, but we just got one, so that's one.
Congrats.
1 out of 5. FOMO. FOMO.
FOMO. What? Oh,
FOMO.
Yes. FOMO. Phone a friend. Phone a friend.
Yes, Johnny. Johnny, you heard right. You read that we are seeing the spinner tonight, and it is true. Yes, the spinner is back. But the spinner won't be used unless we have FOMO backers.
FOMO.
To the campaign. Let's do this. Tell a friend. Let them know the spinner's back. Pledge. It's $15 at least. $15 the next 4. Yes. So let's get her done.
Johnny's like, can I pledge again? I want to spend. He said, can I please again? Who are you going to please?
Whoa,
he's like, hello.
I'm sure that's illegal.
He's like,
do it online.
He's I put powder in myself. Can I please again? Johnny.
Man.
You get that, Johnny. You get that.
Even from Texas. But yes. So we have one out of the 5. Don't worry. This will carry on into tomorrow. If we don't get anybody today, that person who pledged today, you will be put into that spinner tomorrow. So don't you worry. Your chance to win is still alive, even if nobody else pledges tonight. So.
Word.
But let's see what happens, man. Listen, we're at 705 right now. $1,000, I think, breaks the first stretch goal, which is the sticker for Viejo.
Right.
That's the $1,000 does that.
Yes. There's 2 opportunities: a 50 backer goal, a 50 backer stretch goal, and then the stretch goal, $1,000 stretch goal. So there's 2 opportunities to get some cool stuff. And who doesn't want free stuff? Who doesn't want to go to a store and go and buy the stuff, and you get to the best part. I used to love that. I think it was DC Comics. What was the name of that comic place by the Empire State Building? Was it DC Comics or
no? That
Jim
was
Henley's universe.
Jim Henley's.
Yeah, Jim Henley's.
Jim Henley's. Yeah.
You'd go there, and you go buy based on how much you spent. You would get some free stuff.
Yeah, I remember they were doing that at Midtown Comics too.
Yeah.
Where, like, if you spend $100, you got $20 worth of stuff free.
Yeah. Oh,
every
yes.
Every time you spend 100, you got 20.
You get this credit, and I'm like, every time I would get the credit, I'd go and buy a graphic novel.
Yes.
So that I always use the credit for the big ticket items.
Yeah.
Yes.
Smart. It was smart, right?
Yeah.
It was smart for a while.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, if I go there today, I wonder if they still have my information.
It's been a while. That was our hangout spot.
That was the spot.
Because
we used to go there. We used to go to the Starbucks on 9th Avenue and like 38th or some shit like that.
Those are the days,
dude. And then we would go down to Catherine Gibbs over there by the park.
Yeah,
we'd hang out there. We'd go upstairs, do our thing, come down to the comic book shop. Yeah, it was. Those were the days, bro. Those were the days.
So to be young again. Oh. But so we're waiting for
much simpler.
Yes, we're waiting for Ted Davies to come in, and when he comes in, we're going to be talking about his campaign, which is Grimm 101 Book 2, and it's currently on Kickstarter. And again, I put the link in the chat, and he see that I said his name and ding.
Voila,
so yes,
shows up.
So before we bring him in, let me just pull it up. Let's change this right here. So he's at 41 backers, 2,222 on a goal of 2,500. He's got 4 days to go. Let's get this man backed. That's really what, $278 left, right? $278 to go. Check this out, Grimm 101. We're gonna find out all about Grimm 101 Book 2, and we want to break the curse of the Book 2, right? Because it's always Book 1, everyone runs to it, and then Book 2, it's a fight to the finish line. I don't get it. I'm fighting myself, but it's like rising up, back on my feet. So, with that said, if you have a campaign and you can't get on podcasts because everyone's booked, and you want to promote, and you get your landing page 2 months out, 3 months out, and you want to promote your landing page, give Cast the Craze an opportunity to promote your stuff. Here we go.
Are you sitting at home wondering how you're going to spread the word about that Comic-Con that you're about to appear at, and you want to get some press? How about your first book signing? How do you spread the word so you can get an audience there? Or that first panel at a Comic-Con? Who do you talk to? Or even your first crowdfunding on Kickstarter or Indiegogo? The world is turning to podcasting to get the word out. Why not you? Sponsor an episode of Cast the Craze and start promoting yourself today.
Yeah, so we're going to bring our guest in. And there he is. Look at that. Look at the hat, bro. Look at him. Just chilling.
There he is. What's going on, Ted? How you doing, man?
Gentlemen, how are you?
Good,
Excellent,
good. Love
excellent.
the hat.
Thank you.
Love the hat.
Thank you.
Hey, man, I want to be on that spin, man. I just dropped 412 on you.
Oh, that was you.
That thing's sweet.
Outstanding.
You're
I
in.
can't check because
You're
I'm podcasting right now. Awesome. Thank you so much.
It's all good. Best of luck with that, man. Much success, because I know I'm with you on that. It's one of those plateau things, man. We just been
Yeah, it's
spiking.
it's the curse of the second issue.
Yeah, it's altitude. You know.
Yes. So welcome, Ted. And you know, we know that you have a presence online and social media, and you have a podcast. But for the people on Cast the Craze, walk us through who Ted Davies is.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I'm going to pop these out because I don't need them. I thought I was going to need them, but okay. This is Zoom, man. This isn't StreamYard, so it's a little bit better for me. You guys can hear me okay?
Yeah, perfect. Yep.
What do you want to know, man? Tell me. Ted Davies artistry is my game. I do, you know, everything from books to full artwork. My main thing is broadcasting too. I do a lot, much like what you guys do. Thanks for doing everything that you do for the community, because I know how hard it is doing that.
Oh yeah.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah, we do the full gamut, man. We do TED Talks, which is a interview show, I guess, but it's more along the lines, not what you guys do with the Kickstarter promotion, but it's more like finding out about the creative, what they were like growing up, you know, how they, like you guys were talking about New York and comic book, you know, the good old days, where you came from, you know, and what you have to say, not necessarily what you have to sell. You know what I'm saying? So it's a real big part of what TED Talks is about. But we've got a lot of shows, man. I've got recently my book Retrieve got picked up in LA, so it's being adapted. So I've got a podcast with the producer Craig Hall, who's a script writer, and he's that just launched last week. It's called From the Trenches of Hollywood, and so we're doing it's kind of the inside look of how you can take your ideas from the dining room table, get it into a format so it's published, and then get Hollywood to see what you're doing. It's really powerful.
Nice.
It's a good way for everybody to look at what they can do possibly with their IPs, you know, in the future. So, but I do a lot of stuff. I mean, you know, you just ask me, and I'll tell you. I do a lot of stuff.
I'm reading through your Kickstarter over here, and I love history. I love going back into people's histories. You have something on here that says his family was one of the founding families that settled Detroit in 1701. Right. That's incredible, bro. So your family, I mean, when you say, "Oh, I'm from Detroit," you are from Detroit. So tell us a little bit about that background, man. Like,
well, my family, my, you know, good Catholic family, all that, you know. I had aunts that were nuns. I had two of them. So Yeah, it was, but they were cool. They were really good. They were awesome.
They were cool.
They would have a couple beers with it. You know, they were really good. They were awesome. Really, really good ladies. But one of the things that they did, the Vatican made them document everything. So they went back, man. They knew like what ships they came over on when Cadillac settled Detroit. Is crazy, man. So yeah, the Trottier family is one of the families that's that helped settle Detroit, and my mother's ancestors were named Trottier, so French. So and it worked out pretty good. That was, you know, so that's it. So you could see the lineage all the way through. It's really, when we found out about it, it's quite remarkable.
Oh yeah.
And you know, if people can go back now a lot easier than they could, say 20 years ago, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it's pretty cool knowing that your roots were in a place that, you know, you grew up in. You didn't really know any better. But yeah, it was pretty sweet.
Nah, yeah, 1701, man. That's I mean, think about that. Like,
well, that's nothing compared to what you guys are at. You guys could probably go way back. We all came through Ellis Island eventually, right? Yeah. So
yeah. No, it's true. It's true. It's really amazing. I took a trip out to England this year for the first time, London, and
awesome.
Like that, you know, just Europe is just all like, you know, it's the old country for a reason. I mean, you have churches there from like 526 AD. You know what I mean? Like it's just out of control. But we're looking through your campaign, and today we're talking about your Kickstarter, which is Grimm 101 Book 2. So there was a Book 1, but so tell us a little bit about the concept behind these tales, Grimm 101. I hear Grimm, and I hear the Brothers Grimm, and I hear fairy tales and things like that. So tell us a little bit about this Grimm 101 book.
So my the idea for the book came about when I was, you know, my mom was the youngest of 15 kids, good Catholic family, right? But they were back in the Depression, long time ago. So it was, you know, farm families. It was just different, you know, free labor basically is what it was for my grandparents. But the 15 kids, my mom was the youngest, so everybody was kind of much older than her. So people were dying off as I was growing up, you know. We'd go to cemeteries, go to burials, whatever. And I always felt I didn't even know some of these people because they were so much older than me. But that feeling that you get, you know, when you go to an old cemetery like New York or in Detroit, you kind of feel weird, anxiety or something. And I thought about that when I was younger. I'm like, that's really a weird feeling. I'm not grieving. I don't know why I was feeling this way, but I just made a mental note. And then as I got older, I'm like, you know, what if it's somebody's job to make you feel like that when you're in a graveyard? And I've started studying a little bit about Grimms and what they do, and, you know, how they protect cemeteries and such. And I said, well, you know, I as a writer, you guys understand this. You go through and you start breaking down, okay, the character, what if he just hates his job? Right. And what if he can't leave his job, right? What if he's, you know, in a bind here? Well, then I came up with the idea about Jim, the cemetery Grimm. He woke up in the cemetery. He doesn't know why he's there. He doesn't know where he's from. Nobody can see or hear him. And he finds a book called Grimm 101 on the ground, on the cemetery ground. Picks it up. It's a manual of how to be a Grimm in a cemetery. So he figures, okay, well, I must have hit my head or something. I'm just going to roll with it, and something will, you know, I'll figure out what happened. So 150 years later, he's still there. Nobody's seen him. Nobody's been to the cemetery in years. But during that course of time, people really like coming to the cemetery to spend time with their, you know, loved ones, you know, pay their respects. But he's kind of like like I said, he's terrible at his job. He's like a stand-up comic. Right. People can feel his energy. They can't hear him, but he's very, he's one of those beings that you just feel good around. That's what book number one was. Book one was all set up as his memoir about what he was going through the last 150 years. You know, who am I? Why am I here? Why can't anybody see me? He's a very lonely guy. And book one ends up with the woman that bought the caretaker's cottage next door to the cemetery, and she actually can see him. And that's how book one ends, just to give you an inside scoop. So they're both, book one and book two, are set up as memoirs. The second memoir, book two, is from Gwendolyn's standpoint, from the caretaker cottage woman. She's kind of a Pinterest witch, so she feels like she's summoned this guy. And he's like, no, that's not how it works. I'm not here at your disposal. That's not what happened. And that's where the comedy kind of ensues a bit. But the perspective is on her now. what happens with and where she is in her life. And, you know, she knows that this being is there, but she recently she found out how a way to see him, and it worked. So the story is going to be about 3 or 4 parts. There's going to be actually it's 4 parts. The first 2 books are the memoir side of it, just to show the character building on Jim, the Grimm, and Gwen, the next door neighbor, if you want to call her that. But there's a lot of dynamic there on how the whole storyline is about. It's kind of it's a dark comedy is probably the best way to put it. It shows a lot of truth about how people are and how they can be good together, even if they're not really from the same realm, if you want to call it that.
Right.
And it's, you know, it was kind of a hybrid. It's not really a comic book. It's not really a novella. It's an illustrated, I don't even know. It's a hybrid book. I don't really know how else to put it. I do a lot of my work in watercolor and ink. But you know, it's thought provoking. That's the main thing.
Right.
Maybe make you smile when you go to a cemetery, when you drive by an old forgotten cemetery.
I just want to read a comment. Jonathan Syfex is in the chat, and he says, "Hello, Ted Davies. I'm definitely pledging. Why? Because it looks like an awesome book, and you understand the power of the spinner. It's like the Infinity Stones, but better."
That's amazing.
Awesome.
That's amazing.
Awesome.
So Ted, you talk about the hybrid angle of this book.
Yeah.
How did you I want to say why, but I don't want to not necessarily why. How did you come up with this concept of saying, you know what? It's not going to be a comic. It's not going to be a novella. I'm going to combine those two things. And have you found success in it? I mean, I'm sure the first one was the same way. Tell us a little bit about the feedback you've gotten with this hybrid, book that you have.
Well, prior to this, I spent like 28 years in architecture. So I was always thinking outside the box, right? Always trying to design homes that were suitable for everybody. Didn't matter what kind of economic you were or whatever. And one thing I hated was getting pigeonholed into something. You know, Ted, you're a comic book artist. Ted, you're a watercolor artist. Ted, you're this, whatever. I've been called worse, you know, so I'll take it, whatever. But what a first world problem to have, right? The book, what I wanted to do, because I've done comic books, but I wanted to do something to where if I can bring part of it, and you guys talk about this, it is the journey. If you can inspire somebody else to do a book or whatever you want to call it, to tell a story, I want to do that. And that's why I thought about it. I'm like, well, I got educators in my family. All right. And they asked, you know, if you put this book out, can you leave spaces in it so that I could teach people about writing? I could teach younger adults how to draw maybe or if they have ideas that can work through this book, kind of like a manual, pardon the pun. And I said, sure. So, I mean, there's a couple things the way we laid it out. But it was done so that just to be different. Marketability wise, it's done so that people are stretched a bit and they're looking at it, not financially, but looking at it like, wow, okay, if he could do this, you know, I've seen books where they turn them upside down when you read them and you can read the sides of them. I look around the whole encompassing part of what a book is. You know, it's a great technology, right? It's a beautiful technology, no batteries required, right? So that's why I did it. I did it just to be a little bit different marketability wise. And I did it to give another person, if you want to say permission, to go for it. You know, that's why I did it. And I know it sounds funny, but I think that we've got a responsibility to each other. Everybody knows how to put a comic book together, you know, 24 pages, whatever. I mean, there's got to be something different. And that's why I did it that way. That's why I call it a hybrid. You can call it an illustrated novella. You can call it a graphic novel, whatever. But it's, you know, it's a memoir of these characters and their world around them. That's it. So, but hybrid is what I call it because it makes more sense to me. I can digest that, you know.
No, I hear that. I love the campaign itself. I mean, it's you know, obviously hand illustrated and everything. That looks like you got another pledger. So you're at 42 right now. 42.
Thank you.
We have 4 days to go, guys. So if you're watching, make sure you log on to Kickstarter, check out Grimm 101. Yeah. We have 4 days. You know, you start this campaign like 26 days ago, and you're like, all right, let's see what happens.
Oh, it came out of the gate running. It came out of the gate running, no problem. I got a great following. But you know what? And this is the thing too, Sam. Check this out, man. I know I'm talking George, but check this out. we were talking about plateauing and all that other good stuff. There's so many great campaigns out right now.
Yeah.
So many, and it's just the time of the year. Everything's happening, and so kudos to everybody on Kickstarter. I try to invest everywhere I can with it.
Yeah.
You'll see me post, I invest Ted. I try to do my name all the time. I try to use it, my shtick, right?
Right.
But I'll do that, like with yours, Sam, I'll make sure I do that when we get off the show. But, we try to support everybody, even if it's hard though, financially, right? For everybody.
Yeah.
So you try to there's certain things that I try to give, even the person that's just pledging the basic, what you give them extra, like a bookmark. Right. We do a part of the artwork that I do. They call dry sheets, which basically are, it's a color sampling of all the book.
Right.
And basically you dry off your brush on these sheets. I'm not throwing them out, I'm cutting them up. And then I'm having, I do a lot of, I do lines from the book on them. Oh, so nice. That's part of the whole thing. So people, even if they can't afford the hardback or anything, they can at least get something that has original artwork in it. You know what I mean? Right. Even though it's a piece of that art, it's something from the original campaign. And one thing I do want to add is that this book, Grimm 101, the book series, is been picked up by the adapter, the screenwriter that actually did my other book, Retrieve, out in Hollywood. So this is going to be next year. We'll be start working on for script for option. So nice. This will be this is the beginning of a whole nother avenue.
That's
so
right.
Congratulations!
So you guys are on the ground floor of this. I didn't want to go for.
You heard it here first on Cast the Craze.
What's that?
I said you heard it here on Cast the Craze.
That's right. I'm telling you, but I want to make sure you're, Well, I don't say it to brag. I want people to know this is it. You guys can do this. Mm-hmm. You just got to get your stuff published and get it in front of the right people. Yeah.
That's basically really what important. It is. It's timing and it's the right person.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah. But it's also being brave, right? It's also not having that fear of like, this isn't exactly what everybody's doing, so maybe I shouldn't do it. Maybe I should do it the way everybody's doing it. This is about having the cojones to say, yo, you know what? I believe in my story. I'm going to put it out, and here it is. Love it or leave it. You know what I mean? And that's amazing.
Some people need the permission to do it. They want to have permission to do it. Yeah. You know what? I'm giving it to them. Go ahead, do it. Enjoy it. Because some people haven't had the same luxuries that I've had growing up, and that's unfair to their disadvantage. If I can be the one that can have them on TED Talks or whatever, and get them to the point where they're feeling better about their work, they get in front of somebody that edits their work properly, and that's all what it's all about. If you're not helping people, you might as well not be doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, so 100%, man, 100%.
So Michael Sammartino and Pops Van Zant joined the chat. Wow. And so Michael Sammartino says that's what Robert Kirkman did. Yes.
Pops. What's up, Pops?
Yes, I'm going to be on Pops. I'll be on Pops, I believe, Friday. Yes, I'll be on. Right, yes. Good. So, and I'm also going to be on. I'm also going to be on CromCon on the 27th.
Are you good?
Yeah. So
we'll be on there too sometime. I don't know which day. We'll get you on TED Talks too. You guys need to be on TED Talks.
Oh, definitely.
We'll get you on there.
That'd be great, man. That'd be great.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. Let's see if we do it by the end of the year. See by the end of the year. I don't know if I can do it. We'll see.
Awesome.
But Ted, let's get back to this kick-ass campaign right here. I know that I don't want to go too fast, too forward so fast. But $2,500 is the goal. Stretch goals. Yeah. Talk to us about these stretch goals because they look pretty freaking damn cool. So tell us a little bit about what you have planned for stretch goals.
Right now, I have a couple things I haven't announced on that, but the biggest thing right now is getting funded. I want to make sure that we get funded because none of this is going to happen if we don't. That's right. So I've got, I don't have it in front of me. I don't have it pulled up. So you're gonna have to bear with me for a second here.
Nah, totally.
And I'm being a realist because that, anything can happen, right? Anything can happen in 4 days as far as building this thing. Yeah. But I want to make sure that people know that we've got a couple things planned on original art, some stickers, some things like that I think that they're borderline tchotchkes, and I want to be careful with that because I want to make sure that you're not doing it to get that. You're doing it to get the story and see what the book's about. One of the things about, and I like I said, I'm a realist, so I don't even know if I want to get into the bigger tier ones, but we will take care of you on it. I promise. I know there's going to be some artwork available. There's going to be a few things on that. And if we do that, I'll make sure I call you guys up, and if we make it past the 3,500, I'll make sure I get a hold of you guys, and we'll announce it on your show.
There you go.
The biggest thing was I want to make sure that the people get the bookmarks. I know it sounds corny, but with the way that one of the things that Lisa Malone brought up, she's my manager on this whole campaign. You guys know Lisa?
Yes, we've had her on the show.
So that's right. Okay. So she ended up, and there's not many people that know a whole lot to do this stuff. I need somebody that's going to know how to guide me certain ways. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing. That's why I invest in Lisa. We ran the last campaign, blew the doors off it. The same with this. It's just more so it's a time of year and everything. Yeah. But with that, the first book, I ended up doing the bookmarks, but I did it in Jim's writing, what he wrote, maybe 1 or 2 lines on the bookmark with his signature on it. But I did it. With this book, it's going to be Gwendolyn's viewpoint. So Lisa said to me, hey, would you mind can we ask your wife to do the saying or the inscriptions on these bookmarks, since it's coming from a woman's standpoint anyway? I'm like, that's brilliant. Yeah, hell yeah. So, they're taking my artwork. Now I've got my wife's hand on this. It's great. It's working out really well. So that really is, for me right now, that's what my eyes are set for that goal. To be realistic. And I'll revisit it if we end up getting over that 30, if we get towards the 3,500 plus, then I'll definitely revamp, but it will be totally worth it if we do. I promise you that. But I'm being a realist. I got to be a realist. So.
No, I hear you. For some like myself, I still enjoy reading, just the physical copies of books. Yeah. Sometimes, and I'll be honest with you, sometimes on campaigns like this, I don't necessarily pledge for the physical copy, but it's not because I don't want the physical copy. It's also because, and being that I've done a few campaigns, I know that the printing cost and the shipping cost is a lot of money. So what I try to do, and I encourage other people to do this, if you really want to support the cause, sometimes it's a good thing just to drop pay whatever, if it's $5 for the digital, and then maybe just a bonus of maybe the $15 that you would have paid for the $20 campaign, just to help the creators out, because I know it's not about the money, but to get books out to the people, to you guys out there, it does cost money. You know what I mean? A lot of the stuff once we reach these goals, a lot of that money doesn't even come into our pocket. It goes into the post office's pockets. It goes into the printer's pockets. It goes into all, like you call them, tchotchke, Ted. It goes into that kind of stuff that we put in. Yeah, all of that goes in there. Cool. Yeah, absolutely. But these bookmarks are different, because to me, being a person that still enjoys picking up a book and reading it, I love to have a bookmark and being able to put it right there and close it up and go for the next one. So it's a very useful thing. Like, you think, it may be corny. It's not, dude. Like those, you'd be surprised. I'm all about the bookmarks, all about it, man.
And it's part of the art of the book. And that's something, it's part of that original art that everybody is going to get something from that. Yeah, that's really important.
And you're at 44 backers now at 2,283. So we're making progress here tonight. Good. Look at that.
Thank you, guys.
Go, baby. Let's go.
Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it.
Yes.
Go ahead. I don't want to. You tell them, ask away. Anything else? I've got a bunch of stuff I can talk about.
That's what
we want. A lot of things on the campaign that are really cool. There's some you'll see the figure that we had done. Amazing. The bomb.
I was going there next. I didn't know if you wanted to touch on it, but it's on the campaign, so it's fair game. Let's talk a little bit about. I'm jumping all the way down, but I looked at that. It caught my eye. I'm all about that stuff. So tell us about that action figure. Tell us about that.
All right. So I met up with Damian Walbram. He's with O-Toys down in Louisville, Kentucky. Guy is amazing. Mm-hmm. So you can check him out on my Facebook page, Ted Davies Artistry, whatever. He's friends with me. You can check them all out. So he took on the original print. This is the original print from the first book, which is actually the cover of the first book.
That's cool.
He ended up doing a sculpt mold of if I can show it to you here, of the character.
That's awesome.
Nice.
All right. So what we've done, it's all resin. He's got this proprietary resin that's a little flexible, but it's really tough too. So it ships really, really well. But we ended up, I do a lot of figure work anyway, like
very
this.
Very nice.
Give you an idea, just to give you a feel for it. We're not done. I'm still working with the face and all that. But
it looks like it would have come from the Todd McFarlane factory.
What's that? Yeah, right. We've got these ones, and we're also going to be encapsulating it into a dome. The dome will have scenery on the bottom made like the cemetery. It'll be sweet. But they're a collector's item. I've only got probably 10 that we're going to be working with. And I've got, it's a funny thing because Kickstarter, not everybody wants to be on Kickstarter. They don't want to purchase sometimes. So it's a kind of a, and you guys have all known this too, I'm sure, the balancing act of how you do this. Kickstarter's a pre-order as far as I'm concerned, right?
Right. Yeah.
It's a great way to get people to invest wisely, I think, in product that can get this out to market. But in that, the people that buy it now are going to be saving money. Right now, this buy-in on this figure is $75, okay, plus shipping. But it's all hand-painted by me. You'll have it certified. I'm going to have both. I'm going to have my name on it, but Damien's name as well. And they're going to be numbered so that you guys will be the first of the series to have these. Wow. They are going to go up in price exponentially once the Kickstarter's done. Sunday night when it closes, that price is going to shoot up. So keep that in mind. So $75 will get you that. Plus we've got other tiers that you guys can combine everything with that. But that is really I really wanted that. I wanted something that people can, if they have the money to invest in something like that. I have a lot of people that want my figures that are, and even in my other book, Retrieve, they want something besides the books. They want something more tangible, a collector's item, if you want to call it that.
Right. So I just want to just give credit to all the people in the chat. You had Polar Knights in Twitch. He's watching us from Twitch, and he says, "Sweet Jesus, the perfect evolution of the beard." So I guess he's watching all of our beards as they're growing through. Michael San Martino says the digital means USPS appreciates it. Pop says everyone gets a chunk. Jonathan says, "Okay, I just pledged my friends. Can't wait to get this great book." And Grant Locker just joined, so thank you, Grant, for joining. So yes.
Yeah, what's up, Grant?
Yeah, so continue talking about. You did a great job with that figure. It looks really, really beautiful.
Yeah, he's amazing. I'm telling you guys, he's going to be one of the up and coming manufacturers for collectors from the indie scene. You watch. I'm exclusive with him. Awesome. Exclusive. He's amazing. So really,
that's awesome.
Damien Walbram. Yep.
You're making moves, man. You're getting options. You got figures. You got the
no joke, man. Nice... I'm not. And you know what? I'm taking people with me on the journey. That's important. You got to. If you don't bring people with you, you did it the wrong way. You did it the wrong way.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. For those who just started watching, Grant and you guys, we are talking to Ted Davies. We're talking to Davies. I'm sorry. We're talking to him about his Kickstarter, which is Grimm 101 Book 2. He's got some great stuff on here. I was looking again. I'm scrolling to the bottom. I'm seeing the add-ons. You have other properties. I don't know if you want to talk about those, but Albino Zulu. You have Retrieve. So you can get those guys as add-ons. So once you're almost about to check out, you got that option. Hey, do you want to add anything on? There are add-ons, and Albino Zulu #1 and #2 are one of those add-ons. Retrieve issue 1 and 2 is one of those, and of course the limited edition Grimm figure is also one of those add-ons. So tell us a little bit about the add-ons on the campaign, Albino Zulu and such.
Albino Zulu was, one of the things that when we go to the Comic-Cons and stuff, I didn't have anything for any young kids. They would come up and want me to draw stuff for them. That's cool, no problem with that. But the problem that I was having was, and my wife pointed it out to me too, not every kid's going to pick up Retrieve. Retrieve's kind of it's an adult thriller. Young adult thriller, and our age, that kind of thing. It's a sci-fi thriller. Kids 6 years old aren't going to pick that one up. 8 years old, they're not ready for that. It's a very advanced story. Albino Zulu is basically 007 meets Ferris Bueller's Day Off. It's a very lighthearted. Nice. It's about an alien, an albino alien that's found in the Serengeti by a Zulu chieftain, and he raises him as a son. And they teach him how to be a badass spy. And he basically saves the earth over and over again, listening to music while he does it, all kinds of rock and roll, and you name it. But it's a very fun thing that, it's black and white on the inside, so kids can paint, color it and do whatever, and it gets them involved in comics. That's what I wanted. Easy words to read. The second book in Albino Zulu, it's never been released, and it's actually, it's how Albino Zulu gets trained by this. You guys know what a pangolin is?
No.
You're gonna tell
I'm
us.
gonna educate you.
Yeah,
You're gonna tell us.
Okay. So it's basically, it looks like an armored aardvark, but they're endangered, right? And I learned this from a little kid. He was like, Ted, these are endangered. You got to put this in one of your comics. I said, okay, cool. I did.
Wow.
So he actually trains Albino with this these whammo frisbees that we used to have as kids, and it's a badass whammo frisbee. So that's kind of a fun thing for the kids. It's meant to be lighthearted.
Nice.
And it gets them involved. It gets them into comics, but in a safe way. You know what I mean? So that they're comfortable and they're learning how to read, and maybe they'll get involved in it. That's what I wanted. I wanted something that brought interest to the kids, not as a money grab, but as a just something to be fun for them, and it's theirs. They can enjoy it. And of course, there's going to be a figure coming out with that one too. I got a whole line of ideas on that. So, but that's neither here nor there. But so Albino Zulu, that's is kind of from the heart a little bit. Retrieve 1 and 2, they're actually the second printings, so they're brand new covers. I try to experiment with covers too, as I do my books. Retrieve the first one, Retrieve 1. That's actually the book that my first book that was optioned, adapted. We're currently working on a script right now. It'll be finished in, I believe, in December. And we just got back from in September. We went out to California to meet with the film development team, and it's everything worked out great. So we're in cahoots. So we're working on that. So it's been really a great year. It's been a fantastic year.
That's awesome.
But anyway, so this is the second printing of the first 2 books. So those are first release. They're not going to be, nobody else has had them yet. So they'll be produced with this series. So, or with this as an add-on. So, but again, I try to experiment with the covers too. I'm looking for people that are collecting. The first cover, the second printing, you'll notice that's Archimedes. That's a major character in the story Retrieve. And we've got, actually Damien did that Archimedes for me. We've got a full package deal on that one. This was actually the one that we used in the marketing meeting out in California. So I painted them all, but he did all the resin work.
Killing it.
But Archimedes in the second printing there, that's actually going to be on Comics Unlimited, released on Comics Unlimited next month. If you guys are familiar with that that magazine, they're out of it's on Amazon. Glenn B. Fleming publishes it, and it's a big it's going to be a really great article. It's going to talk about my how the optioning went and how the adaption's working on my book Retrieve, and it's really, I'm looking forward to getting that book, the second printing, out so people can enjoy it. The first one, we sold out completely. I'm pretty much out of everything I had once everything happened with the development deal. But that's one thing I want to tell people too. Yeah. Development deals are one thing, and Kickstarter's another. I own all the rights to my books, so I'm doing this on my dime. I'm trying to do this to where I can do it, financially without charging a fortune for the books. That's where Kickstarter offers that. The development deals and all the rest of that, or the scripting adaptions, that's totally separate from everything else I'm doing. So it's not like I'm going out and just asking, you know what I mean? So don't look at it like that. Look at it from a standpoint of, these are still my IPs. I'm still trying to build my following, my work, besides all that. So, and keep in mind, you guys all of us are only one step away from a meeting that can change your lives. So don't lose that guidance. I'm telling you, it can happen to anybody as long as the story's sound. Art's subjective. Art's completely subjective. But if the story's sound, anybody has the opportunity, especially now. So.
You know what's crazy about that, Ted? You say that, and I believe that 100%. I tell Sam sometimes, I say, the artwork will sell you the first issue, but the story is what's going to sell you the rest of the story. And so, but I think we're so I don't know, programmed to say, that artwork is not good enough, that we are willing to pay for artwork out of our we're going to spend so much money on the art. And what about the story? Well, I'm working on that, but the artwork, and we always think that the artwork is going to take us over the top. And at the end of the day, you're in it, you see these people are looking for stories. They don't care about the art. They're looking for stories. They're looking for stories.
They are starving for stories and elements. Starving. If I hear about one more reboot, I'm about ready to vomit.
Yes.
If you can get somebody, and that's, I've been told that. I've been told that by people in California. They're in the business. They're like, look, man, you've got an opportunity. You got something original.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, you have beaten 9 out of 10 people that are writing daily, trying to build a business for themselves out in California. But if you got something original, nobody else has it, you better get out and get that story published so they'll take a look at it. I'm telling you.
That's right.
So,
That's right. For everyone watching, you're not just getting a great book on Kickstarter, but you're getting some sound advice. This is stuff that you can't even pay for this. So go in there, pledge to this book, Grimm 101. I'm looking at one of these tiers, Ted. Yeah. It's the Mortician Bundle. Yes. Tell us about the Mortician Bundle.
So, let me see what I've got. I don't have it in front of me. I apologize.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I'll tell you. It's basically issues 1 and 2. Well, not issues. I say issues, but it's basically books 1 and 2. So if you guys are looking for the
soft cover or the hard cover?
Soft cover.
Yeah, you have both. Yeah,
you have the softback issues 1 and 2.
Oof, that's awesome.
Yeah. So that's a good question. So if someone who's new to you and wanted the digital number 1, how can they get that?
All right, so the digital's still on there. Now, one of the things I did, and this is kind of, I'm going to find out from the people too. Maybe we can ask the crowd this, the audience. I'm a firm believer in getting an actual book in hand. Right. I think that it makes more of sense, and not everybody reads PDFs. It's one thing we're shipping worldwide. I don't care. We're still going to ship it worldwide. But PDF, I priced it out that way, and Lisa and I went back and forth on this. I priced it out the same as the book because I want people to really think about it. I want them to have a book that I will sign that they'll have in their library forever, unless they want to get rid of it, versus the PDF. Of course, they can get the PDF. It's $15, but at that price point, you're not paying shipping. But, think about having a book that you can. I really think it's a good way to. I think it's a good way to look at it. Of course, they get the PDF, absolutely. And after the Kickstarter's done, the PDF will be available on teddaviesartistry.com. It might take a little bit of time to get that over there because I don't want to, until we get fulfillment, I don't want to release that until the first people that paid get their fulfillments, obviously. I think everybody can respect that, I hope. Yeah. But does that make any sense or not? The PDF is available. It is $15 though. So keep that in mind when you're looking at the. I think I really like having tangible books, man. I hear you. I don't know. There's a trade-off, I guess, but
yeah. I mean, I've always been a physical guy myself. Because I love to be able to have it, put it away, come back to it, read it again. Yep. But there, we're in a different world where there's a lot of the today's youth that only prefer digital. And
that's cool too.
Yeah, so you have to walk that fine balance where they do everything online.
Right. And that's, it's going to take $70 to get that book to Australia. So I'm looking right now. I've got a printer in the UK, which that helps. Yeah. And they'll actually send everything from London, which is great. That's really good, especially for everybody in the UK. It's like I got a lot of fans in the UK, thank God. But it's an interesting thing, man. It's trial and error. Yeah. Because should you do a PDF for $5? I think that'd be a great idea. But I'm like, well, I really wanted to have a book, so let me price accordingly. Yeah. So maybe in the next campaign we'll do something different. But
I think I think I can see why you had that debate, because the fine line is, are you phasing out the potentials of those who are just new to you and just want to see what it's about because some people don't want to commit all the way, but it's like, I want to support, but I just don't want to go that route. So, but I'm willing to get the digital, and
I understand that.
Yeah.
Or the retailers. That's another thing too, because I have a lot of retailers that want the goods before they order something, which is cool. I get that.
Yeah.
I totally get that. And that's on a per basis that I look at. But it really, it boils down to, and once you find your fan base, then and I'll know next time, the first campaign went no problem. We had probably 20 PDFs maybe.
Right.
And it was at the same price point, no problem. Everybody know because they understood the philosophy in it. But they lived in Japan, Germany. There was a lot of people that bought them outside of the U.S. because we weren't shipping. And that was the other thing. That was the other rub. So good thing is they're back for the second book. So that's great. That's a good thing. And they're buying PDF again. So, but even though I'm offering signed copies to be shipped. So, but you know, we're learning. That's the thing. That's what we're all learning right now. So, you know.
Yeah, that's what these campaigns allow us to do too. It's almost like you're testing the market as well as you're doing them.
And,
are you planning any appearances, Ted, and anything on the convention circuit as far as
not this year. What we did was Chris and I, my wife and I decided just everything going on. We were thinking about going to Grand Rapids. We're in Michigan, so I didn't know if I was going to Grand Rapids or Chicago, and I'm like, you know, we can if we wait and we just hit it hard next year. We start in March. And I'm pretty much booked up.
Nice.
Between San Diego and all that other stuff for next year, we're going to be pretty busy because everything going on with meetings in California and stuff. So I said, why don't we just take the few months, kind of stay home. If you guys get your shots, great. If not, awesome. Get my booster. I'm going to wait, you know, and do all that and get the holidays. Because that's been a head trip, man. I'll tell you, just on a personal note, traveling right now on an airplane, for me, that was heavy. That was really heavy for me to do it.
Yeah.
But I had to do it. And I'm glad I did it because it made me feel empowered.
Right.
Yeah.
So getting outside your comfort zone is a good thing sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm going to wait. I think we're going to wait until March. Like I said, I've got things lined up right now. We've had opportunities, but I just don't, by the time I'm driving down, setting up and everything right now, there's just too much. I've got 6 shows on my YouTube channel that I do. Plus we've got everything else going on right now. And I'm in meetings, you know, 2-3 days a week, sometimes in California right now, getting things worked out with the podcast and the adaption. So it's been really busy. So I don't think I'm going to be doing anything right now.
No.
And the fulfillment will be in February, by the way.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to wait. I want to make sure everything's good.
Yeah.
We're past the holiday, and you know, I have time to paint these figures and everything. So yeah.
Right.
You're a busy man, Ted. You're a busy man.
Yeah,
I love it.
That's a good thing. What a great problem, huh?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah.
Michael Sammartino is singing "Let's Get Physical" in the chat. So that's his way of saying he prefers physical. So you have a captivated audience. What's the pitch?
On Grimm 101, or me.
Grimm 101.
I'm gonna need more a couple minutes for me. All right, okay. So, get my tap dance shoes on. So if you guys like a story about, well, and we've all been there. We've all been in a situation where we hate our jobs. All of us have been in that situation. If we haven't, either we're lied to ourselves or we haven't been there yet. But if you want a story about a guy that's really terrible at his job, but he can't leave because it's a supernatural vocation and he's stuck, and the only person that's seen him in 150 years is his next door neighbor,
Right.
who's a Pinterest witch who thinks she summoned him. And this is the story for you. You can see the whole deal about how the whole world falls into place for both of them, or out of place.
Right.
If you're looking for a comedy that's in the ground, it's in the groundworks for episodes, eventually on streaming services somewhere. This is the ticket. But Grimm 101 is a good story to. It's going to be a book that I think people are going to be drawn to in a lot of ways, because it's gothic, it's dark. There's some comedy in it. There's some life lessons in this too. And you know, the artwork, I really do like the artwork. I think watercolor is really a beautiful medium.
It's awesome.
You can get away with it, and it's not a comic book.
Right.
It's not going to be. It's an artist book when you really look at it. And you're going to say, okay, I really hate that. I really love that. It's either or. But I want you guys to enjoy it. I want you guys to look at it and find out more about yourself than you do about the story while you're reading it. So that's my pitch.
That's a great pitch, bro. That is a great pitch, Ted.
Cool.
Thank you so much, man. This has been great. Guys, if you're watching still, make sure you go to Kickstarter, pledge to Grimm 101 Book 2. He's got 4 days left. we are close to the goal, man. 2,500. We're at 2,283. We had a couple of backers right here on the show. This ends on November 14th at 7 p.m. That's Sunday, November 14th at 7 p.m. Don't miss it. Do not miss it. Ted, thank you so much for coming on. And where can they find you? Give us some of your social networks and your website and all that other fun stuff.
Anywhere Ted Davies Artistry. So if you're on Facebook, Ted Davies Artistry, Instagram, Ted Davies Artistry, Twitter. My YouTube channel is Ted Davies Artistry. Check that out. I've got stuff going on all week.
Nice.
Different podcasts. We've got like I said, the new podcast is coming out. It started on Fridays. It'll be updated on Fridays, 5 p.m. But they're all recorded. There are going to be a couple live, but that's with the producer Craig Hall out in California. And we're bringing in a lot of heavy hitters from California. Nice. So you guys will learn about script writing. You'll learn about how the inside of it works, how that all comes together, and where you need to be if you want to position yourself in that as a writer. So that's really important. I'm trying to give back on that. So you guys are, I really want people involved in that. Get your dreams out there. That's awesome. But yeah, anywhere Ted Davies Artistry. If you go to teddaviesartistry.com, it has all my books, everything. It's a one-stop shop. But subscribe to Ted Davies Artistry on YouTube, man. That's a really great way to get me, because I do a ton of really great things with the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. If you guys are familiar with them at all, we do a ton of business, helping creatives help each other, build a huge network of people, just like you guys are doing. So nice. I appreciate you guys big time. Big fan, always big fan.
So thank you, man.
I want to spin on that.
Yeah, we got two now.
So my name better be on there tomorrow.
Yeah, so there's two. We need three more people to spin. But yeah, so Grant Lankard said, big Catch the Craze and Ted Davies fan, and Jonathan concurs.
That's awesome. Yeah, Grant's awesome.
Yes.
He's a really good guy.
He is. No, man, thank you for paying it forward, Ted. We really appreciate you. You're doing great things for the indies. You know, we need all the help we can get sometimes. And sometimes the help comes from words like what you're saying. Just do it. Get it done. Stop. Don't quit.
You got the permission.
Like, you just need that sometimes, So thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, man.
Yes.
Not a problem.
Thank
you guys are always welcome. You're part of Ted's tribe now.
Same here, man.
We'll be in touch. I'll be in touch with you guys.
Yeah, we definitely want to have you back.
We'll be in touch with you.
Yeah, we want to deep dive into that brain of yours.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's a scary place, bro. You think Grimm is a dark comedy? Oh man.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you, Ted. Talk to you soon.
We'll talk to you soon, guys. Thanks so much, guys. Have a good evening.
You too.
Thank you.
So that was Ted Davies,
awesome.
and this was another fantastic episode. So again, thank you everybody who backed the campaign. And
both.
Yes, both. We had two. We had Ted Davies, and we did have DB Carter. So DB Carter, thank you so much. So your name and Ted's name goes. We need 3 more backers to the Forbidden campaign between today and tomorrow to get your name on George. What's that spinner? Where's that spinner, George?
Right here, my man. Right here. Get the spinner.
Yes. And so
it'll spin faster tomorrow.
Yes. And then what do you win? Your name will go on that spinner. George will spin, and the lucky person will get my prose, a short story prose ARG. A wealthy family, the perfect life, until the day a child was born into the world. A child she refused to acknowledge for fear of how the public would react. Hidden from the world with a dark secret lingering in the shadows, only a few are aware of the impact this child will have on the world. The race begins to prevent the inevitable. This is the story of a child named ARG. Yes. So one lucky person will get the digital copy of ARG, my prose, which I haven't released anywhere other than at I think it was ZoloCon.
Oh yeah,
ZoloCon. I think is what.
ZoloCon seems like so far away, doesn't it?
Yeah, that was in April. That was the first time I presented ARG anywhere. So it's still not out. I haven't pushed it, so you'll get a first-hand look, whoever that lucky winner is. So we need 3 more backers at $15 or more.
At least
Remember, $15.
The more chances you have, because we're gonna do one at 7. All right, with the names that we already have, at least 5. If we get another 5 names, we'll do another spin at 8 o'clock. So it all depends on you guys. So the more people pledge, the more chances we will have people winning. So
yes, and
tell
that's
your friends.
Yes, so we're trying to get to, again, the goal is to get to 1,000 backers. I mean, 100 backers, 1,000. I wish 100 backers.
Nice.
The best Forbidden has done was 50 backers, and Catch the Crazies was 68 backers. So we're trying to get to 100 backers. So we have a 50 backer goal. And we have a stretch goal of $1,000, which unlocks the Viejo sticker, and we have a 50 backer goal, which unlocks the digital print that I did of David Hunter and the Creepers. So again, we have 21 days to go. We have 21 backers, so we're 26 backers away from unlocking the backer goal, and we are basically 45 away from unlocking the first stretch goal.
It's moving. It's moving. Let's.
Yes.
Tonight was a good night. Because the last couple of days have not been.
No, I mean I hit a wall for like 5 days, 6 days straight, and it was like I'm ready to shut everything down. I was like, that's it. I quit. I'm packing it.
It's the power of the spinner, bro.
It's the power of the spinner. Yes.
You mentioned a spinner. People just want their names on the little spinner, bro.
Yeah. So if you want your name in the spinner, so we got 2 names already in there. We got Ted Davies and we got DB Carter. So thank you both, and your names will go in. So if we get 3 between today and tomorrow night, we will be live with 2 additional guests who are promoting their campaigns. I gotta fix this mic. Right. It fell on me 6 times today.
Yeah, and make sure that if you haven't yet, and you're watching this, maybe not today, but tomorrow you're watching this, make sure you go to Grimm 101, book number 2, by Ted Davies. He's about just a little over $200 away from his goal. So let's get him there. $2,500 to goal. Let's get him there. He's at 44 backers. 4 days to go. November 14th is the last day.
Yeah, and do a double whammy. Go and also subscribe to his channel.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, a lot of good stuff. Listen, positive. I love the message. And he's doing it. He's.
And I'm glad you brought that up. You know what I'm saying? So you said something earlier. You were talking about how everybody spends all this money on getting these fantastic art or whatever. Here's a guy who's focused on telling a great story.
Great story.
And building from there. Right? And most people want great art and tell the story secondary. And he's reaping the benefits of his craft.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So when you think it's impossible, you say you can't do it or whatever it is. I think if you're writing for you and you're creating for you and you love what you do, then eventually it'll pay off. But if you're doing it with other motives and you're doing it for somebody else, or you're trying to compete with the images and the marvels, you really don't understand your purpose.
Yeah. You know what I loved about having Ted on the show is that, very rarely are we able to give people an example of being able to do it with artwork that maybe isn't Jim Lee. Right? Because people look at comics and they think it's got to look like that, otherwise it's not going to sell. Right? This was perfect because you see this man. I love the artwork. I'm not even saying the artwork. I
love the wash.
But yes, love it. But he's saying it's about the story. And if you can afford an artist like Jim Lee, go for it, dude. Like if you can afford that, by all means do it. But if you cannot afford it, don't think that your story's going to fail simply because the artwork doesn't look like that.
Yes.
Don't stop creating.
Don't
say I'm never going to do it. Right. Don't do it. Do not do it. You know what I mean? Make sure you tell the story you want to tell within your means, bro. Within your means. We all have, we all know what we can spend on certain things. Just don't break your pockets for it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. You know what I mean?
I'll give you a great example. Understand where I'm going with this. George created a book called Rush 5377, right? And I love the art style, but critics didn't, right? I love the art style, and I love the story. The story has heart, had merit, and while George transitioned and commissioned an artist, it still didn't take away from the fact that it's a great story. You know what I mean? So, but I still prefer George's style. I still have the original comics of Rush 5377. When George takes off, I'm gonna make a fortune off those comics. But it's a it's a great story,
dude. You know what's crazy about that story? So I sent the book out to Comadres. Comadres and Comics is the name of the podcast. They do like sometimes they'll do like a quick critique on a book that they get sent. So I sent it out to them. You know that they did not like the artwork of the new one, but they enjoyed the story? Like, because, and we talked about that, it's subjective. Art is something that's subjective. They almost didn't read the book because of the artwork that I thought was way better than mine, which I still think I still like the artwork. I still do like the artwork. Listen,
because the style, I know why, because the style, that style you see everywhere, right? Your style you don't see everywhere, right? Your style was unique to you. The style of art that the team that you commission, you see that style everywhere. It's a very recognizable style of art. Yours is very different. It was unique to George Medina. It wasn't trying to follow somebody else's pattern.
Granted, but you know what? But they read it and they kept reading it because of the story. Right. The story wasn't where I wanted it to be when I first drew it. That just, you know what I mean? It just wasn't there because I had hit a roadblock. It wasn't going anywhere. So I had to revamp the story itself. And so then I got the artist and stuff like that. But you're right. You are right in saying that you don't have to go out and say, oh, my artwork isn't good enough. I'm not going to finish this book. I'm not doing it. You know, I'll have somebody else do it. I'll pay whatever it takes to get it done. It doesn't have to happen that way. Yeah. It doesn't. It really doesn't.
And you're eating carrots and baked beans. Because you're like, damn, you know, like,
if you're lucky.
Yeah, if you're using a fork and a knife to cut the bean.
Yo, but big shout out to Johnny. John Syfax actually had asked a good question. Does it count if you pledge on Indiegogo? And the answer is, yeah, why not? Right?
Yes, it counts if we get 5 backers on either platform.
That's right.
Between today and tomorrow, we got 2, so we just need 3. So even if we got 3 on Indiegogo and 2 on Kickstarter. If we get 5 backers, everybody goes into the spinning wheel. If we get 10 backers, then we get 2 people get a chance to win. So if for every 5, your names go in the raffle. Bam. In the wheel, the magic wheel.
I got enough I got enough space. Yeah, so that's how it's gonna roll. But yeah, no, good, excellent discussion with Ted. Thank you for being on the show, my man. You are the man. Make sure you guys pledge to the campaign. Tomorrow we have 2 more Kickstarter campaigns that we're going to be talking about. We've stopped recording shows for Fridays because we have so many campaigns.
Yeah,
coming in.
It's like I went to the pizzeria, and the guy in the back, he's making pizza, but he's drawing. I said, what are you doing? He goes, I always wanted to make a comic book, and now COVID lets me make a comic book. I was like, damn. So everybody and their mother's making comics and going to Kickstarter. I'd never seen the flood, and all right, anybody who's been trying to get on Catch the Craze, I have a backlog of requests. I'm trying to get to one at a time. But we're booking January, February right now because the requests are out of control for the Kickstarters. So I will get to you. It might take me some time, but I am getting to everybody who requests getting on the show. But I already have most of January almost booked. It's crazy.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man. So we'll be back tomorrow, 7 p.m. for the first show, 8 p.m. for the second. So, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We didn't tell you that earlier, but please subscribe to the channel, like, comment, hit the bell so that you know when we're going live, which will be again tomorrow at 7 p.m. So if you're not a subscriber, subscribe right now. Please help us get to 1,000. We're on a road to 1,000 subscribers. That is the magic number. We're at 457. So thank you, everyone who has already subscribed.
Yes, thank
you.
Stay
on.
Much
Stay
appreciated. With that said, I do want to just say thank you, Pops, for joining the chat. Thank you, Johnny Syfax, Michael Sam Artino. Thank you, Polar Knights on Twitch. Let's see. Thank you, Grant Lankert. Thank you so much. And again, thank you, Ted, for being on the show. And thank you, DB, for also backing us. And for everybody who backed Grimm 101 Book 2 tonight. Thank you so much. We appreciate every single one of you. This is why we do it. With that said, I'm Sam the Crazy Man Vera.
George the Dreamer Medina.
And we are out.
It's just easy. It's not.
Crazy. Acquiesce.
No, I was talking about my friend Acquiesce. I met him. Say my name, right?
This is what you were thinking? Oh,
he described me. He said, I'm the
What? Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. To Catch the craze.
You are listening to Catch the Craze
on Catch the Craze.
You're listening to Catch the Craze.